Watch out, Mr. Beast. We're coming for you.
Yeah. Take that. Joe Rogan, you're next. And then you, Midas Touch. We'll take on all comers with this here podcast thing that we do.
It's Mike and Molson mangling the news. Hot takes, nonsense stuff, even monkey news tonight. And we're also live on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube, and Instagram, I think.
Yes, exactly. I always like voguing on Twitch there. That's always a fun thing. By the way, I am Mark Safe from Bertha. If you're new to the program, every year when they go through the names of the storms, the possible named storms for the season, we always judge by name alone the impact of certain storms. And Bertha, we both, I think, said was going to be a Category 3 hurricane.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
That was
and
our
it's
prediction.
just going to be a tropical storm. But nonetheless, Bertha is going to, well, we don't know. She could still gain some steam.
Mother Nature is fickle.
That's true. Anybody named Bertha could always add girth at any point.
Man, that is such an unfair name for anyone to have. I mean, there's no way. You cannot be a supermodel named Bertha. I mean, if that happened, it would change the weight of that name.
Literally, it would change the weight of that name. You are correct. Yeah. We have a great name coming up, though, here shortly. A gentleman whose obituary has taken the internet by storm. But we have some other business to get to first, because if a man falls into a chemical toilet, we are here to cover it for you.
Right.
Now, if you'll recall, last time out, there was a guy in a campground who was stuck in a campground toilet. So there was a numerous amount of toilets going into a big vat of the poo water of the chemical. This is just your everyday porta potty, and you maybe ask yourself, how the hell do you get stuck in one of those?
How indeed. So this is a like a body cam, I think, from.
Bro, come out! You're gonna look out of there. Watch your fucking self. Get it way back. We're gonna cut all the way down. Get way back.
So this is in Kansas City. The Kansas City Fire Department gets a call from a guy stuck in a damn porta potty. So many questions. The first reports, when this first took over the internet, the first reports didn't tell us why exactly he was in there. And then we figure out that he dropped a Mountain Dew in there. Yeah. And so he had to go in and do the do. Why? Even if you were able to retrieve that successfully, would you ever think about putting your lips towards that particular bottle?
Exactly. Right. Yeah. And so where we pick up this video, the fire department is now mad at him. I mean, it's obviously they've been here for a while and they're trying to say, step back a minute. We're going to cut this thing open. And he isn't complying.
Also, how deep is that? Shouldn't he just be able to stand up and get out his damn self?
That's a good question. I mean, it is a porta potty, so you'd think it's all self-contained, but I mean, he's in there deep enough where in a minute you'll see only his hands come up.
Lean forward like you did before. Lean forward and come out.
They're over this guy.
Yeah.
Is he crisscross applesauce in there? What the French?
I mean, he has to be laying down or something.
He has to. First of all, he had to have gone in head first, obviously, to grab the Mountain Dew, and now he's laying in it. Like, just come back out.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's not like an outhouse or a camping toilet where it goes down 8 feet.
No.
So now the guy in the toilet is mad because he's saying there are some exposed screws on the toilet and he doesn't want to get poked.
You were chest deep in a porta potty, sir. You don't get to complain about, oh, there's a rusty nail here.
Yeah, you should be happy that there's anybody there helping you.
No, lean forward. Put your head through the hole. You got to move. Get the fuck out of there. Hurry up.
We got other shit to do. There's someone who's dying in a house fire, sir.
So lean forward like you have your head through the first. You got space now.
I mean, that's a good point. How many firemen are standing there helping this idiot?
Head through. Put your head through the hole.
Oops.
Lean your head through the hole, cuz. I'm the dumb fuck.
You dumb.
Yeah, okay, so fireman says, put your head through the hole. Man in the toilet says, I can't, you dumb fuck, which the fireman has only one thing he can say.
Put your head through the hole. No, lean your head through the hole, cuz. I'm the dumb fuck while singing a fucking urinal.
You can't give him a hand.
No.
Take your left arm. Take that left arm. Put it straight up. Put it straight up. Bro, put that arm up.
Come on. If it takes this lengthy of instructions to get through to the guy, he's on his own. He's on
Leave
his
him
own.
there. He lives there now. He lives there now. Because they execute rescues from burning fucking buildings expertly and without any problems whatsoever. They can get you out of a burning building. Listen to what they're saying to you, you dumb bastard.
Yeah, and he just won't.
Lean forward. Keep leaning. Push back a little. Come on.
How'd you get in there in the first place, you jackass?
I mean, I love that at no point are these trained professionals going anywhere near to like, all right, give me your hand, I'll yank you out. They're not throwing him a rope. They're not getting a crane in there. They're just going,
no.
You got to lean forward and get yourself out of there, man.
Now here's the thing, their patience is way beyond mine because I'm already fed up and we're only, this is just part of the story, right? This isn't even the entire video.
Right.
Push it forward. Just push the damn thing forward at this point. You've already ruined it by cutting it. Just push it forward and make him crawl out on his belly.
Look, there's at least 3 fire people. I don't know if somebody's, and so that's where that video cuts off. So I don't know. Yeah.
He got out of there eventually. But once again, anything that lands in a shitter or a chemical toilet is the chemical toilets, including you. Next time you go in, no one's getting you out. You just live there now. You become the toilet troll.
Yeah.
You become Skibbity. Isn't it Skibbity toilet or whatever? You become the living embodiment of Skibbity toilet.
We're starting this show off with a lot of bodily fluids. So let's go to this next story here. I'll just let you read the headline and then tell you what the story is behind it. God almighty. Yeah.
I mean,
I've
heard of people writing in blood.
Don't make excuses.
I'm not making excuses.
You are.
I'm saying I've heard of people writing in blood.
Okay.
But that makes no sense to me. What just was on the screen there. But please enlighten me on why he had to sue or why he wanted that in the first place.
Yeah. And he has sued and won a bizarre legal battle, allowing him to send letters coded in his own to his fiancée. This was in Germany. The convicted drug dealer said...
Germans are weird, though.
Yeah. Stopping his... I'm just quoting from the article. The drug dealer said, quote, stopping his sperm-soaked male would stifle his sexual fantasies. The inmate and his lover have been swapping bodily fluids through the mail for some time now.
Oh. The poor mail carriers.
So the prison guards are saying, hey, this is kind of a health risk here, but under the rules, the prison guards are now required to inspect the mail for contraband, but they have to put on gloves now. And the jail authorities said, handling this would be a violation of the duty to protect the health and maintain an orderly existence. So they determined the felon refused to back down and then launched a lawsuit against the prison. And according to the the German legal journal, a prisoner claimed the ban suppressed his sexual fantasies and violated his fundamental right to free development of his personality.
Boy, that's a long way to go just to be able to explode on a letter and be like, haha, got this one through.
Further, he argued that sending bodily fluids through the mail was not a criminal offense.
Isn't it though? I mean, if someone else outside of Germany, and anyone watching, I don't want you to put this in practice and get back to us, but I think any one of us, if we were to do that and it were to, pardon the pun, come back to us, I think there would be some type of legal ramifications to us.
Yeah, I think there would be. And, they're advising the staff at the prison to wear gloves. But, I mean, think there's a mailman somewhere out there that was sorting the mail. There's probably clerks putting things. I don't know what all they use to sort the mail in Germany, but there's other people coming into contact with this.
And it's been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Like, how did it start? And it kind of, I feel like, needs to end. No offense, not kink shaming, but don't get other people involved in it in the mail.
Well, the moral of the story, I think, is that there's somebody for everybody. I mean, the fact that he's got a lovely lady on the other side of the pen pal chain that's also willing to send bodily fluids, I think that's sweet.
I think Weird Al needs to update the Pina Colada song. If you like whacking on envelopes and sending it through the then they can meet. Oh God, what out of the top two stories of today, would you rather have to sort the jizz envelope or take a sip from the porta potty Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
I don't know
either.
But let's get to a better story.
We are bereaved tonight, are we not?
Yes, the whole world is bereaved because of the passing of one Richard Dick Porn. Yes, Richard Dick Porn has passed away. As you see, 1938 he was born. 2026 he passes away up in Wisconsin. He was the son of Matthew and Gertrude Porn.
Oh, Gertie Porn. I love Gertie Porn. She was a nice lady.
So we were discussing before we jumped on here on the live stream of, it's one thing to have porn as your last name, right? Mm-hmm. There's nothing poor Dick Porn could do about it. Porn has become ubiquitous in our society. I don't know how much so it was in 1938, but at some point he had to realize that, you know what? I'm Dick Porn and I'm proud of it. Like he fully leaned into being Dick Porn. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate that for him. Now, the obituary goes on further, saying that Dick Porn and his wife, Carol Porn, were blessed with 4 children. Now, here are their names, all right? We have Jackie Porn. Mm-hmm. We have Timmy Porn. We have Danny Porn. And we have Peter Porn. You can't.
Peter Porn.
Now, here's the thing. I feel like that was retribution for years of people calling him Dick Porn. He's like, you know what? That curse needs to continue on. Mm-hmm. If I had to live as Dick Porn my entire life, you need to be Petey Porn. There needs to be a Petey Porn out there for the whole world. I mean, the Porn family, I feel for them. Now, he seems like a wonderful man. He was a bartender at the age of 12 because he's from Wisconsin and everyone's just drunk up there at the age of 11. So he was working at the family bar. He was he was Santa Claus and handing out gifts. He supported all these different local charities and
He was an
everything
optician.
else.
He was Dr. Porn.
And that's what
Dr.
I'm
Porn
saying.
will see you now.
I was going to get.
I'm
I was
sorry.
getting to that where he was till the day he died. He was still a practicing eye doctor, working 2 days a week at least. And you were going to Dr. Dick Porn to get your eye examined.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want Dick Porn shoving around in my eyes.
What did you see? Better now? Better here? 1, 2.
1, 2, 1 or 2, 1 or 2. So God bless Dick Porn. And by the way, people, of course, because it's the internet, are leaving messages on Dick Porn's obituary.
Mm-hmm.
I will, if you have those, we can go through a couple of them.
Look at this. I'm
there's
sorry.
some that
I'm still shocked that he's got. Look at all these grandkids, these porn grandkids, nieces and nephew porns.
Well, there is that. Yeah, I let us not forget the porn family that is left behind. I'm trying to see if some of the other ones here. Well, Jackie Porn's got Jacob, Brooks and Maddie Porn, but I don't think there's another Peter Porn.
No.
John Janet Porn, sister-in-law. I mean, it goes on and on and on for Mr. Richard Dick Porn.
Tess Tickle writes in and says, Dick and I were so close and often had a rock solid relationship. I'm nothing without you.
Thank you, Tess Tickle. That's not a real person, obviously.
No.
What a great man. I saw him often.
He stood firm. Sorry for your loss. He stood firm for 92 years. God bless his family and God hold him in loving embrace for eternity. I don't know him personally, but reading his life meant a lot to me. May he rest in peace. Who's this guy?
There's one towards the end there that makes fun of people like us.
Mm-hmm.
Dick made my career. Here it is. There will be people who make fun of your name. Ignore them. They're a bunch of weirdos. I don't know you personally, misspelled, but reading your life made me realize we lost an important soul. Rest in peace, Aaron. But down towards the bottom, there's one. Let's see. I remember Dick helping me with delivery roads at an old bar. There's that one. Oh, thanks for being there when I needed you most in my life, Porn. I'll never forget you. So yes, Richard Dick Porn, God bless you.
Well, yeah, it seems like he owned the name and said, you know what, I'm just going to run with this. This is my name, and here I am. But it's baffling when people have an odd name that they don't go, all right, I'm just going to bail on this thing.
Well, good on him. Like I said, he leaned into it, and I love the fact that in turn, he named one of his kids Peter. Mm-hmm. He's like, this family joke doesn't end with Richard Dick Porn because Peter Porn is there to carry on the porn tradition.
According to the AI, the word pornography first showed up in 1842, wasn't referring to explicit media. It described ancient Greek and Roman paintings depicting prostitutes. So, in other words, it was porn.
Yeah, exactly. It's been around for a long time. And his Gertie Porn and Matthew Porn said, we need to name our kid Richard Dick Porn.
Well, you knew this was inevitable, that someday there would be a robot teacher in your classroom. And so there is a prototype now being worked out in New York where they have brought this AI person thing to assist students studying AI and robotics. So there will be a digital tutor in the room. This company called Realbotics says it is a flagship deployment in this school, and that the feedback will shape how the company uses robots in the future. And the question is, all right, is this thing going to work? I think the question that I have is, you're sending this thing to a high school, and the first thing when the teacher looks away, the real teacher looks away, the boys are going to yank its blouse off. That's just going to happen.
I mean, if Zap taught us anything, our breakdown of the movie Zapped, yes, that will be. It's an unfortunate truth.
Why does she have to look so sultry?
Now, we don't know if that's the exact one they're sending, though, right? I mean, is that the exact one they're sending to the school, or are they going to like substitute teachify it, or are they, or is that like one of the ones? Is that the prototype they're going to send?
Well, yeah, I think that's a good question. So let me just look at here. Realbotics, robots designed for human interaction. I think these are actually just real-ish looking. Oh, I hate it. Why don't they look? You know what they're doing. What they're doing.
Yeah, they know exactly what they're doing. They're cultivating their next crop of people who are going to buy said robots.
Mm-hmm. This is
under the guise. I mean, come on. Can humans just have something? I mean, do we really need the robots to take over of the teachers who are doing inappropriate things with their students?
Well, and Jesus. Hey, I can get on board with excuse me. I can get on board with having a robot in the classroom to help teach these kids about robots, but make it look like WALL-E or something. It doesn't have to look like a slamming hot 22-year-old OnlyFans model.
Correct. It can look like Herbie from Fantastic Four, yes. Johnny Five from Short Circuit. Yeah. It doesn't need to be that.
Or Lost in Space, the big, with the robot with the big, crazy dome thing around its head.
You know who'd be a great teacher? C-3PO.
C-3PO.
That would be perfect. That's still a robot. It doesn't have to look like that. Because it's counterintuitive. You put that robot up in front of the class, and guys are not going to be paying attention to what they're supposed to be paying attention to.
They point out that this robot can move her upper body and produce facial expressions, but will never stand up. So again, they got the boobs in there, which is what they wanted to do. The company is wagering that a recognizable face, voice, and physical presence will make students more willing to engage with AI other than just a chatbot or a screen.
Oh, so they're saying by having a physical embodiment of the AI, those kids who may be against interacting with ChatGPT, or as we've seen some of the younger generation at these colleges, when these speakers talk about the future of AI, they get booed. Mm-hmm. They're saying, well, if you put a face to the name, you'll be more inclined to interact with it.
Right.
Ugh.
Okay, so that's kind of the upshot there, and I think we know what's going to happen. It does say
what school are they sending it to?
They're sending it to a school in upstate New York, I think.
It's probably some all-boys academy, isn't it?
It has to be.
It's some all-boys boarding school.
State Senator George Borrello says that assistive technology could expand access to tutoring and other services in rural communities. Come on, don't do this. Why don't you give teachers more money instead of buying a $250,000 robot?
There's that as well.
We're broken. Everything's broken.
Yeah, we are. Well, even the Waymo system, the driverless taxis, are becoming broken because people being people are getting a little too inebriated. Now, they're being smart in the fact that they're not driving. But what's transpiring is more and more people are getting pretty blottoed, getting in the robo-taxi and just laying down in the back seat. And when they get to their destination, they're not getting out because they're passed out. So then the robo-taxi has a sensor and says, hey, you're done here. And then a disembodied voice has to then come on the speaker of the car and say, please evacuate the vehicle. And if they don't, they are then obligated to call 911. And that is what's been happening, is there's been a rash and an uptick of 911 calls where the authorities have to show up because there's an unresponsive individual in the back of the Waymos or the driverless taxis.
So Waymo is deducing, because this person is unresponsive, that something horrible has happened, and they have no choice but to call for emergency backup.
Correct. They say passengers are falling asleep, spilling drinks, dropping food, vomiting, experiencing medical emergencies, and in at least 2 instances, giving birth in the cars. Others stumble out of the vehicles and forget to close the doors, forcing the operators to pay nearby gig workers to go shut the door.
Oh, my gosh.
So this guy had a 6-minute trip home. He went to a friend's birthday party. He gets in, falls asleep. A remote Waymo assistant dialing in through the car speaker tried to rouse him. Finally, he had to call 911 when he wouldn't stir. And he wakes up. He wakes up to the police banging on the car.
I thought I was alone.
Exactly. They said so many robo-taxi customers have nodded off in the midst of a ride that Austin police and firefighters even have a name for the incidents called sleepers. The Texas Capitol recorded 99 such calls in Waymo's first 9 months of service there. So 11 times a month, they get people so blackout drunk taking these things that they can't stir. And when they, to your point, get the call of, hey, we have an unresponsive passenger in the car, they got to send everybody because they assume they may be dead.
Yeah. There are so many of those around Austin that it is disturbing. I mean, there will be, yeah, I mean, there will be easily 2 or 3 at the light when you pull up. There was one day that I was driving around there, and I don't know if they were all going back, all the Waymos were going back to their home base or what the deal was, but it was like a flotilla of Waymos. It was weird.
I don't know if I've never encountered one in the wild where like I pull, even though where I live, they do have that system in place, but it's more like downtown Orlando and such. I don't know how I'd react if I just looked over and a sea of cars with no driver just went right by me. That would freak me the F out.
It's not uncommon. I'll be sitting at a red light, look to my right, and there's a car with no driver in it, and it's very unsettling. I'm sure people in Austin have gotten used to it, but it's a very unsettling. Crossing the street in front of one is weird. I don't trust it.
No, I don't either. They say in Austin, when the dispatcher gets that call, they treat an incident as a potential heart attack. If the remote assistant can't tell whether the passenger is breathing. In the end, only about 3% of such calls require transporting the passenger to a hospital, but the incidents tie up personnel who might be needed elsewhere. It's kind of like the idiot in the porta potty.
Right.
For cities involved, robotaxis can pose other problems. In San Francisco, more than 60 Waymos had to be moved out of the way after a widespread blackout in December left the cars paralyzed on city streets, in some cases blocking first responders. So, yeah, it's just... I understand the allure of it. I understand you don't want to talk to anybody. It's easy just to jump in, but it's still goofed. It's still a goof system.
Yeah. I understand the research that they get into fewer accidents. But the thing is, when a robot does get into an accident, it's going to be front page news because that really jolts everybody when it happens. And yeah, there's plenty of arguments in favor of it to be made. And yet, people are still kind of, some people are on board and they're fine. They're early adopters, but it's still a little odd, I think. I haven't done it. Maybe I need to do it. We'd love to. By the way, our phones are open. It's 707-4-MONKEY.
I have a friend who did it out in Arizona, and they said it was a kind of surreal experience. It worked fine. I'm not opposed to it, but now that I hear these horror stories, you got to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yeah.
You can't just stumble in and pass out because then who pays for that? Does the person who was in the Waymo have to pay the bill for the 911 call and everything else? An ambulance is showing up?
Oh man. Yeah, I didn't think about that. You know how when you take an Uber or a cab or anything, there's always a throw up fee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, drunk people who puke in the back seat. If you puke in the back seat of a Waymo and then it goes to pick up somebody else and there's a pile of puke in the back.
Well, no, that's why they have those assistants that have like the cameras inside, because they said there's gig workers who then go and clean up the Waymo. Can you imagine getting you sit around all night and your job is cleaning the vomit off out of the back seat of the driverless car?
It better be good
It's like,
money.
we got another one.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yikes. Well, staying with motor vehicles, this is a interesting story considering where it emanates from. And the fact that we read so many times of all these different license plates that people try to get their personalized plate and try to be funny with all the different sexual innuendos. But here is Florida going, this one's on us. That's what this lady in a retirement community got for her license plate. Didn't put in
a
for
retirement community.
Yes. This lady's in a retirement community, an elderly woman in Florida, Nancy Delostrito, is asking for a new license plate after receiving one that read, as you see on the screen there, SQZ-A55. Just randomized letters and numbers, but it looks like squeeze ass.
Well, sure it does.
And so she says, I don't want that being my license plate in my wonderful retirement community here in Pompano Beach. And she said, I looked at it and said, I don't think so. License plate has conjured buzz among men in her community, she recalled. This is what I received from the DMV for my new license plate. That's good for 10 years. Her license plate. She would be squeeze ass for 10 years.
Yeah.
She's 89 years old. And they asked another one of her neighbors, and they said, another older neighbor said, that's squeeze ass. Why'd you ask for squeeze ass? She said, I didn't.
I love that.
they finally reached out, and she's like, I can't be squeeze ass. And an office manager confirmed to this news outlet that the Broward County, Florida, would replace the license deemed offensive for free. So thank
nice
God. Yeah, they're not charging her extra. But how in the hell does squeeze ass make it through of just randomize it nowhere along the process? All these personalized ones they go through with like a fine-tooth comb.
Well,
but this one, they say, it's fine.
Because it's not squeeze ass. It's SQZ-A55. That doesn't spell anything.
Yeah, but
nobody's putting eyes on that thing, and it just goes into the envelope and shows up at the lady's retirement home, and she's Miss Squeeze Ass.
Now, my question is this: if it was me, now granted she's a fine, upstanding woman in a retirement home, wouldn't want to drive around with squeeze ass.
Yeah, and she's got a nice ass.
Yeah, I mean, so I would probably say, okay, you gave it to me. How long before they get pulled over, though? How long until they're on the interstate or something and a cop says, whoa, wait a minute, or authorities in the neighborhood go, wait a second, this isn't a real license plate. There's no way we okayed squeeze ass to be driving up and down the street. That's
a good point.
And you have to go, I didn't put in for it. I just got squeeze ass. Want a little piece there, officer? Says it on the back of my car.
You're trying to bribe me.
Yes.
Well, people get themselves all worked up whenever there are suggestive innuendos. This is Mike's favorite thing. Any chance he can make a double entendre or something. That's happened here at the Indiana State House, where a food truck that parks outside has had to be removed because of the clear innuendo that is on there.
Oh.
It's Smash Daddy's Burgers, Fries, etc. Slogan, you'll love our meat in your mouth.
Well, there you go. It's juicy. It's juicy in your mouth. They got offended by that.
Well, and so somebody came along, and somebody representing the state came along and said, all right, we can't have that out here. Move it along, move it along. Well, now he's turned around, the owner of this food truck, and said, hey, this is a First Amendment issue. You cannot, as the state, tell me that I can't have that on my truck. He said, I could count on one hand the number of complaints I've had over the last 20 years. He previously had a restaurant called Between the Bun. This guy's an idiot.
Where we have the footlongs that we shove in between your bun.
But recently, two parties took issue, a Christian school and the state government. The former was more understandable, but the latter said this is ridiculous. He's saying this is ridiculous and censorship. The state personnel department said participation of food trucks and other vendors at the state house is by invitation, and it is at the discretion of state personnel department. But an associate professor of law at Indiana University said there could very well be First Amendment implications. Offensiveness cannot alone be precluded by the state government.
Maybe if he wasn't Smash Daddies,
Yeah.
I think that's part of the. But then it fits the brand. If you're Smash Daddies and you say you'll love our meat in your mouth, that works. If it was like, if it was Granny Gertie's, whatever it may be, Burger Town, and that's you'll love our meat, then it doesn't work as well.
Squeeze ass burgers.
Yeah, exactly.
The professor goes on to say, usually these types of business slogans are meant to be provocative. Thanks, professor, for that one. Maybe even have some type of sexual connotation or double entendre. If it's just the slogan, I think there would be real concern about this not rising to the level of formal obscenity. So that's where we'll see how that stands, and if the guy who wants to put his meat in your mouth will still be able to be at the Indiana State House.
Wouldn't it be funny if he just was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just stating a fact. When you taste our burgers, you will love our meat in your mouth. What?
Yeah.
And he puts it on the person of being the weirdo of like, I'm simply just stating a fact that when you put our meat in your mouth, you're going to love it. What makes it so weird? Why are you getting all worked up over it?
He has plausible deniability.
He does, Mr. Smash Daddy. Let's get Smash Daddy on the phone.
We should. Jimmy Myers thinks it's a little perv.
Well, I mean, there is that connotation. That is, if their head chef was Dick Porn, then maybe that's got even more validity to it.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy's copping to be a libertarian and says he still believes in protecting children from that.
From you'll love our meat in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't
remember
have a problem
couple of
with
weeks ago we had an Australian politician get into trouble because he said he would be willing to shag Kylie Minogue.
I remember this took off on us, especially down in Australia. And he never actually even said that he would shag Kylie Minogue. He was given the kind of their version of, marry, date, do it with. And he tried to be the great politician and maneuver around things. And then the host was just like, he's like Kylie, and then he said Kylie for all three. So yes,
you can see
Australian
the clip on our
politician
YouTube channel there if you want. But now we have another politician in Australia who's gotten into trouble for an outburst that he had during a live interview when he suddenly yelled at his dog. And I want you to watch how Jekyll and Hyde this moment is, where he goes from having a normal conversation and suddenly he's lost it.
But it seems to me, Barnaby Joyson, you're defending your leader, but are you really comfortable with where she is taking you?
I think... Sit down! Sorry, it's a dog.
To visa overstayers to authorities, is that the policy?
I have to apologise for this dog, which has decided to bail up.
Don't worry about the dog. Just answer the question.
Don't be rude. Don't be rude. Otherwise, this interview will come to a grinding halt, Sarah. So, what was the question?
So, is it your policy?
So, wow.
How is the host being rude? You're the one who turns in the middle of the interview, screams at your dog, has to clarify to all of us it's a dog, that it isn't like he's not screaming at a child or a person over in there.
Yeah.
And then she just like, forget about the dog. We're doing an interview here. And then she's the rude one.
So there have been a lot of people who are saying, hey, you're not a good guy. You go around yelling at dogs. I don't think you're fit to be a politician.
I don't
Now,
yeah, you shouldn't yell at your dog quite like that. But I understand high pressure situation. You're on live TV. He's probably already worked up about something. But you shouldn't snap like that. Get someone else to get the dog out of there.
yeah, it's kind of scary how quickly he goes from 0 to 60.
I,
That's true.
I think, sit down.
Damn.
God bless.
Hang on, I'm sorry. They're not letting me get to the full article anymore. They've completely paywalled me. But the point is, he's getting a lot of criticism for that, and people are saying, hey, I think maybe he just didn't want to answer the question and was using this dog as an excuse because later in the interview, he's still using the dog as, oh, I'm so distracted, I can't possibly answer your questions, right?
Because I didn't hear a dog before he yelled.
Well, he just tells the dog to sit down. So I don't know if it was just
A dog's jumping around or whatever, whatnot.
doing dog stuff. Yeah.
I think, sit down. Sorry, it's a dog. The
To visa overstayers to authorities. Is that the policy?
I have to apologise for this dog, which has decided to bail up.
Don't worry about the dog. Just answer the question.
Does he say what I think he said about the dog? Does he call the dog by its correct female name for a female dog? Does he drop a B word in there?
I have to apologise for this dog, which has decided to bail up.
Don't worry about the dog. Just answer.
It's okay. I thought he said the B word there, that the B word has decided to jump up about. I think he said it's instead. So,
but the first one you can understand. The second one you go, I think maybe he was trying to just get out of the question. And so she calls him on it and says, forget about the dog, answer the question. And then so now he has to be offended.
Question.
Don't be rude. Don't be rude. Otherwise, this interview will come to a grinding halt, Sarah. So, what?
He's rude.
I think so. I think this is a guy who's obviously got some short fuse and can't.
I mean,
he's got a short fuse and just can't control himself.
I understand we live in a world now where at a moment's notice, much like me and you, we can just jump on here and you're live wherever. But pick a room where the dog isn't. Maybe if you're a politician doing a big interview, maybe that for one. And now two, I feel like the prime minister guy is probably like, hey, you see, at least I'm not this guy. I'm not this guy.
Yeah, he's got cover.
Yeah, he certainly does.
Sit down. Sorry.
It reminds me of another Australian politician years ago. This is a famous internet video that is just always makes me laugh anytime I see it. Again, another weird Jekyll and Hyde moment.
I mean, people are entitled to their sexual proclivities. I mean, let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom as far as I'm concerned. But I ain't spending any time on it because in the meantime, every 3 months, a person is torn to pieces by a crocodile in North Queensland.
Well, that was a quick change of mood.
He was just being nice about, hey, if you're gay and you want to live your life, that's fine. But we need to talk about the crocodiles.
I mean, let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom as far as I'm concerned. But I ain't spending any time on it because in the meantime, every 3 months, a person is torn to pieces by a crocodile in North Queensland.
Let's get back to the issue at hand.
Right, exactly. Let's get back to the crocodiles, you sons of bitches.
It's like an Australian Pam Bondi just going off the handle for no particular reason.
Just very upset about things. Ugh. Well, we got a dog in this next story, too.
We do.
And someone very upset. This is Dateline Roy Washington. And I believe, if you could go back on our YouTube, if you're new here, I think Roy Washington had that weird nudist park for a while.
Which right.
could explain why this woman is nude in this story. This is in Roy, Washington, where a 46-year-old woman.
I don't know where our graphic is anymore. It's gone. I apologize.
That's okay. Was arrested after investigators say she attacked her mother with a gardening handsaw, struck her mother and a family dog with her pickup truck, and led deputies on a pursuit that ended in a head-on crash. Good,
Damn.
sweet criminelli. By the way, this all happened at 11:30 in the morning on a Friday. That's when the authorities got involved after the woman's mother reported that her adult daughter, who was nude, assaulted her with a saw. Investigators said the daughter also took her mother's phone to prevent her from calling 911. Mother escaped and used a neighbor's phone to call for help. So can you imagine that interaction of running to the neighbor's house, be like, you got to let me in. My naked daughter is trying to get at me with a gardening saw, and she stole my phone. How do you say no to that? You got to let her in, right?
Yeah,
you can't
I think
say
so. I think, well, yes.
According to the sheriff's office, the daughter then got into a pickup truck and tried to run over her mother and the neighbor who was helping her. The truck struck the mother and the family dog, but missed the neighbor. The mother and neighbor told deputies the driver backed up as if she intended to hit them again before driving away. Deputies attempted to stop the pickup, but the driver refused to pull over, leading officers on a pursuit. During the case, the driver allegedly swerved toward a police officer who was deploying spike strips, nearly hitting the officer. They finally later used a pit maneuver to stop the pickup. The patrol vehicle collided head-on with a civilian vehicle. The officer and the woman driving the other vehicle were taken to a hospital with minor injuries. Suspect, who remained nude, was taken into custody. Through all of that, she remained nude.
Nobody threw a blanket on her or anything?
And we don't have any word on what she may have been on, but she had to have been on something, right? That's not just normal behavior on a Friday morning where you try to go at your mom with a gardening saw while you're naked and try to run her over in your pickup truck.
Mike, we don't know the backstory. She could have just come out of the shower and an argument escalated to the degree. She very well could be a nice, upstanding, church-going person and got terribly angry at her mother and things got out of hand. Happens all the time.
Yes, but they then don't drive nude. I give you you all of that, Mr. Molson. I give you that very well could have been. It was a Friday morning. Why aren't you at work? You shut your mouth, Mom. Right. You're 46. Get your life together. You don't tell me what to do. You know, they go back and forth a tete-a-tete, as it were. No clothes ever put on by the woman. But it's the then driving off. Yeah. That's the part that I can't. That's the bridge too far for me to say that she had to have been on something.
But no indication. So so is the dog okay?
Everyone's okay.
Okay.
Everyone's okay. They survived. I will add that the woman in question also had multiple outstanding warrants. Mm-hmm. So there may be something there. There may be something more than just a.
Sit down. Sorry, it's a dog.
Now, see, had a naked woman be coming at him with a gardening saw, then that's a perfect, appropriate response. Yeah. Not a dog just running around on the back porch.
Exactly. We have a story out of...
yes, Greg. Hair of the dog, indeed.
This is an interesting story. So this guy buys a $5.5 million mansion. This is back in 2021. About 4 years later, it has to be demolished because, as you can see, it is right at the edge of an eroding cliff. And so now he is claiming, hey, Chase Bank screwed up. They never should have given me that loan because he was, quote, under an uncontrollable manic psychosis when he entered into the mortgage, which apparently is something the bank should have known.
4 years ago?
Yeah.
He's lived there for 4 years.
4 years ago. The house had to be demolished, so a total loss for him 4 years later. And he said, but I'm crazy. You can't.
You should have known better.
And the lawsuit says, if you're having a bipolar disorder, that could involve irrational risk-taking, impulsive behavior, and reckless spending. It says that J.P. Morgan Chase was aware or willfully avoided acknowledging that Bonami was not competent to enter the mortgage agreement and should not have approved the loan. Come on.
I buy that if it's 4 months later, 5 months later, 6 months later, and that's when he goes, oh, shit, what did I do?
Yeah.
Like if he's like, man, I had one of those episodes again, son of a bitch, I need to get out of this. They should have realized that. I'm sorry. But not 4 years later.
Yeah. Or somebody in a family should have said, oh, Grandpa lost it again and went and bought another $1 million mansion. We got to stop this. But it seems a little strange that after this thing was at the brink of falling off that cliff, he says, well, but no, I didn't. I shouldn't have even bought it anyway. Give me my money back. Law professor says that this guy faces a difficult burden proving that he lacked legal capacity to enter a mortgage agreement. And, this is J.P. Morgan Chase. I'm sure they did their due diligence. And, now he's also saying that he had told them that he was about to retire in a couple years, and banks don't normally give loans to people who are about to retire. Blah, blah, blah. And so it's a pretty, it's a pretty
tedious,
flimsy excuse, isn't it?
It's a tedious process to go through if anyone has done that to get a mortgage. I mean, I assume considering what he purchased, it's probably easier for him and streamlined because he has people, which then speaks to your point of someone else within his business acumen probably should have pointed out that this is not wise, but yet they continued on with it. And it's not till it went south that now all of a sudden he wants his money back. Sorry, bub, that's not how it works.
Here's how much of a hit he took. It was a $5.5 million mansion. The house had to be demolished in 2025. That cost him $250,000. The property had been assessed at $4 million, almost $5 million. But after the demolition, the land was reassessed at $385,000.
Whoops.
Ouch.
Maybe next time, think it over. Do your research, kids.
That's a bit of a loss there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to wonder. When you look at that place and go, how much more time does this house have? I mean, that would be the first question you ask when you're going to the open house, isn't it?
It should have been. I mean, it should have been, but it looks like he didn't even. This seems like a guy. I will say, to play devil's advocate, this does seem like a guy who just saw it on Zillow and was like, I gotta have it.
Right.
And purchased it sight unseen. They never showed the back lawn of the house. It was just everything else but that. And he was like, son of a bitch.
But it's got a jacuzzi.
Yeah. Zillow gets me again, those bastards.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for This Week in Slow-Mo, a video
I love Twismo.
Goes rather quickly, and we need to slow it down and figure out what the heck went awry. And this is I believe either a French or a Canadian sports broadcast. Let's watch the video and we'll take it from there.
Bien sûr, tous les autres buts inscrits en Serie A dans. Là, tu t'es fait mal.
Mansour, the agony of defeat there. Yeah. The French Sports Center, he goes down. Oof.
So obviously he was late for his live appearance on this sports show. He scrambles to get up to that little platform and then down he goes.
Bien sûr, tous les autres buts inscrits en Serie A dans.
Oh, I didn't hear the noise at first. Not to slow it down, and I hear that audible grunt of when he just biffs it.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's picking up on the live stream or not, but you can hear his face squeak along the laminate floor. Listen to it in its.
Bien sûr, tous les autres buts inscrits en Serie A dans.
Oh, you can't hear it.
Yeah. Like sneakers at a basketball game.
Tous les autres buts inscrits en Serie A dans.
Oh. His center of balance surrendered quicker than his nation usually does.
Yeah, dans.
Wow. The momentum of the fall, he almost does the scorpion. He almost like his back almost scorpions up.
Yeah, he almost went over. And yeah, because he is cruising and then comes to a dead stop.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. He almost, if had he not slid, his legs would have been up over the top of his head like a scorpion.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He's lucky that he slid across there with his face squeaking against it.
Wouldn't you love to know how much of his newscaster makeup dragged along with there was like a little streak on there?
The best part is I don't think he was supposed to be in the shot. Or if he was, because if you look at the look on the face of his co-anchor when he comes running over, he even is looking at him like, what the hell are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Oh, he missed the step.
It's really dark where he hits it, but if you look, what I think happens is only the toe of his shoe hits the step, goes straight down, and then and it's. Do you see that?
No, he missed the step totally.
You can hear him. You can hear it stamped down.
He hit like a wire, or maybe he tripped over the light bulb.
Maybe it to me it looks like it's so hard to see, but it looks like
you're right.
Right there.
The tip of his foot hits the step and slips out from underneath him, and he just goes down. Oof.
Now watch his partner too. Just try to track the whole thing,
but doesn't put a hand out to help him from not falling. He's
fast.
Just like, you're going for it, bro.
Too
it
fast.
Did happen.
I mean,
it did happen too fast.
Yeah, I mean, he's already by the time the guy realizes that he's jumping up onto the stage, he's already tripping.
Yeah, he's already gone. Their eyes meet, but for a moment before that guy's eyes are face down into the floor. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that guy was supposed to be in the shot. I think this guy's like, why the hell is he running over here?
Yeah. There is a moment of terror, like a locomotive is coming at him. And let's examine that in the anguish cam when we really zero in on the parts of anguish. And you're right. He absolutely knows right then that something horrible is coming at him.
Yeah. He's like, what the hell is going on? Why is this guy running towards me? Now they're both in it. That was anguish for both. When he first starts teetering down, now they're both anguished. Like, oh God, we're going to be living on forever on the internet.
At this point, he's airborne. And then at this point, he's got that thing where, you know, you fall and you try and your hand goes backwards on you. That's what's going on right there. And then his hand is of no help, and so his face tries to get into the action.
Oh God, dang! When we isolate it like that, that is a thud.
Yes.
I mean, that is a thud. God bless. Oh.
Là, tu t'es fait mal.
Yeah, and then knowing that you're knocked out. Somebody get him a Waymo so that 911 can be called when he can't get out of the car from his concussion.
Well, and you got to wonder because I mean, the first thing he grabs is his ribs. So I don't know. Okay, yeah, he went to his left side and slammed his ribs, and then his face dragged across. That's what we're seeing.
God bless. Oh, poor bastard. That sounds like the sound effect that, like when you play Madden when someone's injured, like then your little computer guy has to run off the screen, or the cart comes out and like takes him off, like.
Yeah, just moments into disaster here.
Là, tu t'es fait mal.
Sacre bleu.
Oh,
that's a rough one. That one hurts, and that's how he's forever known. He's now faceplant guy. Guy the face plant.
Yes, right. At least he didn't rack his baguettes like the skier from back in the day.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well,
thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for stopping by, for commenting. We appreciate it. Share with your friends, like, share, subscribe, and Skypoint dick porn.
yeah, I don't know that there's I don't know that we've said this enough to the people who have been listening to the podcast for a long time, but we're on
that's
YouTube.
right.
I don't know if I'm hopefully they've figured it out, but I don't know that we've
I would
actually
hope so.
said it.
That's true. If you're just listening to this on audio, come join us on YouTube on Tuesdays. We'd love to have you.
We're the worst hosts ever.
I don't know about that. Glenn Beck still has a show, right?
You got a